much for joining us at this very important occasion where His Worship the Mayor of the City of Harare, Councillor J. Mafume, will be presenting the end of year message. Being beamed live on various platforms, and we welcome all those who are joining online. To start our program, allow me to call upon Mercy to give us an opening prayer, then we proceed. Thank you. Thank you very much. You all appreciate that we are in the holiday period and most people have gone away for various activities. That is why we have encouraged others to join online. We have various stakeholders that we work with. I'm not going to call them by name, but we appreciate your presence here. We also have representatives of the workers' unions for the City of Harare. Thank you very much for coming. City of Harare directors, you are very welcome. Members of the media, you are most welcome. We also have our policymakers. Thank you very much for taking time out to be with us today. At this juncture, allow me to call upon our acting town clerk, Engineer Nomen Karidza, to give us an opening remarks, and then we'll proceed with the program. Can you all appreciate him as he comes forward?
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Good morning to you all. His Worship, the Mayor of the City of Harare, Councillor Jacob Mafume, the Director of Ceremonies, representatives from the business, the industry, and also commerce, residents association representatives, civic leaders who are here present, councillors who are here present, the heads of departments, and all the staff from City of Harare, representatives of the Workers' Union, our esteemed guests, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome you to the presentation of the end of year message by His Worship, the Mayor of the City of Harare, Councillor Jacob Mafume. This is a platform for Council to share with you the developments that have taken place in the City of Harare during the year 2022, and also a focus into the 2023 period. Council is very conscious of the challenges facing our citizens. Great effort will be put towards improving service delivery, particularly in the water, sanitation, and hygiene sector, also known as WASH, which remains a priority for the city because this directly impacts on the lives of the citizens of Harare. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to introduce to you His Worship, Councillor Jacob Mafume, the Mayor of the City of Harare, to address us. I thank you.
Okay, thank you. We may be seated. Thank you, Town Clerk, Acting Town Clerk, Engineer Karidza, for the introduction. Esteemed residents, City of Harare, stakeholders, workers, union principals and representatives, councillors, management and staff here present. I join the nation in wishing everyone a happy festive season. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and we look forward to a prosperous New Year. We thought that it is necessary as we go into the New Year that we address the residents of Harare on a number of key issues that are of concern to the city. I feel deeply honored to present the end of year message on behalf of the City of Harare and in my capacity as the Mayor of the capital city of the Republic of Zimbabwe. When most of the councillors were sworn into office on the 7th of April after a series of recalls, and in my case after suspensions, we committed to serving the citizens of Harare, hence the adoption of the mantra, back to basics for sustainable service delivery. We placed growth and progress at the forefront of our agenda. It remains a profound responsibility that we carry, and such we are not ashamed to talk about our shortfalls. We are also proud to discuss our successes achieved in a difficult environment. We were faced with a multiplicity of crises as follows: serious waste management crisis, as our fleet reached an all-time low of 6 refuse compactors, which were expected to save the 46 wards in Harare. A non-functional ERP, effects of COVID-19 on revenue generation and collection, water supply constraints as demand continues to outstrip supply, the reality of infrastructure that has suffered over a 20-year backlog of renewal, slow disbursement of devolution funds and other funds that are supposed to come from the national fiscus. In all these circumstances, we chose hope. We felt that problems could be solved and that Harare must work. Hence the mantra, back to basics for sustainable service delivery. Recapitalization. For us, back to basic means recapitalization of service delivery operations. This led to the procurement and commissioning of plant and equipment, service delivery vehicles, and other assets at a total cost of 10.366 billion Zimbabwe dollars. Let me put it on record that the acquisition of the plant and equipment and other service delivery assets was largely driven by our own revenue, coupled with city parking private limited remittances. Only the front-end loader was paid for using the devolution funds. In the 2022 financial year, we were allocated 2.1 billion Zimbabwe dollars as devolution funds, but as of November 2022, we had only received 309 million Zimbabwe dollars. We had planned to buy most of the yellow machines and refuse compactors using our allocated devolution funds, but the issue of this disbursement remains an albatross on our neck. In summary, however, we managed using the following in the 2022 financial year: 5 tipper trucks, 5 refuse compactors, 2 TLBs, backhoe, 1 front-end loader, 1 excavator, 20 NP200 vehicles, 10 Nissan Navara trucks, 50 desktop computers, 50 receipting printers, 20 motorcycles, 3 Toyota Prados, 1 tumbler dryer for city health, 4 tractors for grass cutting. Recapitalization of service delivery operations remain our priority, and in 2023, we are going to procure service delivery vehicles and the following pieces of plant and equipment: 5 30-ton hook loader and 5 bins for waste collection at high traffic areas, 15 refuse compactors, 5 excavators, 2 front-end loaders, 5 tipper trucks, 5 skid steers, 9 backhoe loaders, 2 graders, 5 low-bed trailers, 2 water bowsers, 2 hydraulic platforms, 7 tractors, 1 road marking machine, roadshow vehicle for awareness campaigns, and a host of small pieces of equipment to enhance service delivery. This is what we have set out to do in Harare, to manage the capital city of Zimbabwe efficiently and effectively, such that we create a sustainable city where residents do not complain about basic service delivery. Recapitalization has presented itself as a panacea to solving the service delivery challenges, as we had gone for a long time without the purchase of service delivery equipment, and that was putting a strain on our budget, as in many cases we had to hire. Financial performance. While our problems are numerous, big and seemingly insurmountable, most of them have easy solutions. Revenue generation and optimum collection are the solution. Service delivery is a byproduct of finance performance. To date, we have collected 48 billion 708 81 Zimbabwe dollars against a potential of 112, 321. Well, these figures, I'm getting a Zuma moment here. against a potential of 112 billion dollars. The variance is very huge, and it shows that we are not able to efficiently collect what we are billing. Our creditors stand at 9 billion, largely driven by electricity costs and water treatment chemicals. Our debtors are at 82 billion, and the list is as follows. Domestic consumers are the biggest debtors, followed by industry, commercial, and government. All debtors must realize that there is a cost attached to doing business in an urban setting, and as such must honor their obligations so that we can also provide basic services. It must be noted that the city of Harare remains one of the few institutions that is still doing a post-paid delivery of services. Everything else is now prepaid. Traveling on a Zinara road, airtime, electricity, and a whole host of other services have become prepaid. The city of Harare is the only one that has remained on a post-paid and deliver. In other words, we deliver and then you pay later. And this has led to a chicken and egg situation where the money that we are owed is hit by inflation, and yet we would have delivered some of the services in real time. Our 2023 revenue budget is 171 billion. This means we must effectively collect efficiently to be able to fund service delivery. Our ERP must work, and beginning January, we expect the executive to have made strides ensuring that our billing and receipting is up to scratch. We will employ an aggressive debt recovery strategies so that we can channel more resources towards service delivery. Access to water. Our average water supply between June and July, our production steadily reached a peak of 400 megaliters per day at MJ and 84 megaliters per day at Prince Edward, against our target of 520 megaliters by the end of the year. The momentum was only derailed by the erratic supply of aluminum sulfate, a critical chemical in the water production value chain. This problem began in August. We have a cocktail of measures to address this challenge, and we are going to ensure that we amortize what we owe complex cooperation. Below is a summary of the key achievement in the water sector which assisted in improving coverage. 1, rehabilitation of Warren Control Pump Station. 14 pumps in total was completed, resulting in improved and reliable delivery of water to Letombo and Alex Park Reservoir. Pumps for the Dowendale Pump Station at Morton Jeffrey Waterworks were delivered and are now on site awaiting installation. We replaced about 39.8 kilometers of pipes of various sizes in our water and sewerage networks to reduce non-revenue water and environmental pollution, respectively. We've also replaced a total of 2,267 water meters in a bid to arrest the menace of commercial losses of non-revenue water. On the water side, we completed the rehabilitation of the Welfare Unit 5C Hartcliffe and Marlborough sewage works, helping us achieve the EMA Green Band of effluent standards. We have increased irrigation for the effluent that does not meet the standards. On the farms, we bought 150 new heifers in a bid to improve our herd. Commendations go to the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor, Dr. Mangudla, for honoring his promise and the release of Forex for the initial payment towards the implementation of the chlorine dioxide project, which will ease our worries of chemical shortages as well as help reduce our monthly bill of water treatment chemicals. In the 2023 financial year, we plan to continuously increase our water production, employ a raft of strategies to reduce non-revenue water, and improve the quality of effluent at the sewer treatment works by rehabilitating more treatment units. We also plan to continue with the institutional reforms in a bid to enhance performance of the department and improve service delivery. Esteemed residents, we are focusing our investment on where it really counts. Infrastructure that improves the lives for and infrastructure that helps grow the economy. Water and wastewater projects will be chewing over 15 billion in the 2023 financial year. This is 36.5% of our capital budget. We are hopeful that the implementation of projects in the water sector will provide a more respectable life to the citizens who have been victims of erratic water supply. We have had fruitful meetings with Complex. We are going to involve them in our strategic planning. We are also going to look into the issue of chemical supplies we used to make and mine our bauxite, our lime, and our sulfuric acid in Zimbabwe. That is no longer being done. We are importing from various countries, South Africa, Mozambique, Zambia, and at times as far away as China. We are going to engage government, we are going to engage Complex, and all other stakeholders. As far as we are concerned, water is a national security issue, and we therefore should be able to develop our own chemicals in the country to avoid shortages and to avoid an embarrassment where we have the water and we are simply unable to clean the water. We are also hoping that investment in other water infrastructure, the last dam for Harare was built in 1976. We hope that Kunji, we hope that Musami, we hope that Muda, we hope that the Mchekaranwa Canal will also be completed in the shortest possible time. This will alleviate the water supply situation in Harare and also provide us with clean water, or water that does not require a lot of chemicals to purify it. We will increase our engagement in that scope. Waste management. Our city is faced with huge challenges in areas of waste collection, transportation, and disposal. In April 2022, our fleet availability was 6 compactors out of a requirement of 46 trucks. This is why we witnessed the proliferation of legal dumps in the residential areas. The fleet has increased to an average of 19 compactors per day due to the new ones and the others that have been repaired. Your council agrees that waste management is at its lowest point. We are doing all what we can under the prevailing circumstances. In line with our 5-year strategic plan, we are remodeling the waste management function in Harare by transitioning from traditional waste collection and disposal to integrated solid waste management. City of Harare has been using the traditional linear model of solid waste management to deliver the refuse collection service. This was characterized by multiple challenges in the solid waste management value chain. We will also be introducing community-based refuse collection in 2023, and we will decentralize the refuse collection assets so that they are managed at ward level. In addition to that, we intend to procure 15 more refuse compactors, and these have been provided for in the 2023 budget. Our community model will deal with the illegal dump sites and will ensure that we will have a cleaner new year as opposed to the Christmas that we have had. We are at the final stages of clearing what needs to be cleared with the procurement and also our supply management so that we are able to do community refuse collection. Roads. The city of Harare has a tarred road network of over 4,500 kilometers. The road network systems have over the years deteriorated due to challenges in routine maintenance. A total of 18 roads were earmarked for rehabilitation at the beginning of the year. These roads have been reduced to 5 due to inflation, while 4 of the roads were taken over by the Ministry of Transport. The allocated budget for roads rehabilitation is 958 million, and we received 1.4 billion. If we had received the money during the beginning of the year, we would have made significant progress, but the funds were not enough and were also eroded by inflation. Let me put it on record that the Zinara model is not working. It needs a relook if as a country and as a people we are serious about addressing the challenges in the roads sector. The responsible authorities and the members of parliament must take heed of the calls by local authorities and residents to reform the Zinara model. It is not working. I will illustrate. And if a motorist pays $30 per quarter for road maintenance, there are over 1 million vehicles in Harare. If we were paying that amount, we should be receiving $30 million per quarter from the vehicles that are in Harare. With that 30 million US, we will be able to have reasonable routine maintenance and the construction of new roads. By some strange twist of formula, a bone-throwing formula, thumb-sucking formula, the money goes into Zinara as is. It comes out of Zinara by a formula that up to this day we do not understand. When we had a meeting with them, they said they got this formula working together with the World Bank and other mathematicians. These are mathematicians from hell. We do not understand how they are calculating. We thought if they are getting 30 million per quarter from the motorists of Harare, maybe they can take $1 million as management fees and remit the 29 million for us to do the roads. But that is not the case. They take the money and they use it for we don't know, and then we get a disbursement at the end of the year that is not sufficient to deal with the road maintenance. So we therefore call upon the review of the Zinara model and the reverting to the model that built the road network in the first place, to the extent that it reached 4,500 kilometers. And we need to repair that road network. In other suburbs, the roads have disappeared and cars are moving by memory. Public lighting. It is our desire to have a safe city. In line with the public safety agenda, a memorandum of understanding was signed between Rwanda Energy, REG, ZESA, and the city of Harare for the installation of 1,202 streetlights. Installation and commissioning of the public lighting management system. The system will exist in the monitoring and control of the street lights. The pilot project was completed and covered 7 roads. We hope the project will continue if the financing model for the rollout is concluded. We also installed and commissioned 10 new traffic signals at various intersections around the city. We hope that now that the pilot has been concluded, we will be able to start commissioning the other roads. Our planning section managed to achieve the following during 2022. Amendment of Manresa Local Plan, 48. Showgrounds Local Plan, 42. Shopping Center developments, Highland Park Shopping Center and Madokero Shopping Center. Residential developments, Aspidel Park Flats Development, Millennium Park Heights Flats Development. Chishanjo Layout Plan for Council Employees, 618 stands. Cleveland Catchment Area Industrial Stands, Derbyshire Industrial Stands, issued 185 permits, issued 259 certificates of compliance. The major focus area for the planning division in 2023 is the development of the master plan, which must spell out the direction the city is taking in terms of development. Housing and social services. We continue to perform dismally in the housing sector of the city. Only 160 street stands were allocated against a target of 5,000 stands. We are remodeling the housing delivery strategy so that we work with reputable institutions and developers in the servicing of stands so that we can be able to provide stands with on-site and bulk off-site infrastructure. The current model is not working. This has created opportunities for land barons to swindle desperate homeowners. Linked to housing is the issue of title deeds. We will, in 2023, embark on a program to ensure that properties get title. In addition to that, we will sell houses to sitting tenants who have occupied the properties for an agreed period. We are also going to set up a commission to deal with the issuing of title deeds in the city and the acceleration of the issuance of title deeds, as title deeds are stifling the development of small to medium enterprises and also the development of affordable housing. On the education front, we were able to increase coverage through increasing the number of schools from 34 to 35 by the successful completion of Bidiriro number 7 primary school. We will also rename our schools and other properties after some luminaries and prominent individuals. We are behaving in a strange fashion where everything is named Budiriro 1 to Budiriro 15, Koadzana 1 to Koadzana Ameno, Glenview 1 to Glenview Ameno. It is a strange way of naming institutions. We have a lot of individuals that have contributed to the development of these cities that we can honor by giving some of these names, borrowing their names and giving them to schools and clinics to avoid a situation where we use numbers to name places and institutions. We can do better. Through the help of school development committees, 2 double-story buildings were constructed in Hartcliffe and Warren Park 6. We managed to upgrade 4 recreational facilities, Africa Unit Square, Waterfalls Swimming Pool, Hartfield Hall. With the help of the Chamber of Chinese Enterprises, we rehabilitated Mbare Swimming Pool to functionality. In 2023, we are going to expand the scope of courses at our vocational training centers and enter into strategic alliances with polytechnics and other institutions of higher learning operating in Harare. We have a situation where a lot of people will need to use their hands. We will need to use the informal sector to grow their personal economies. And our vocational training centers used to fill that gap. We had a number of graduates that graduated in areas like uniform making, dressmaking, catering, and so forth. And we'll increase those courses and will offer scholarship to those residents that have not been able to gain into formal employment. Stadia. We have had challenges in refurbished Gwanzura and Rufaro Stadium. We will continue to explore sustainable means of rehabilitating our social services infrastructure without prejudicing the owners who are the residents of Harare. Rufaro Stadium will be refurbished by council. We are going to make it operational by March 2023. Refurbishment of Gwanzura Stadium by OPIL is going ahead as planned, though there were operational challenges which has since been resolved. We are also hoping that the revenue from Rufaro marketing, which has since been remodeled, will be utilized to fund the major works of the stadium. The 2 stadia have a combined 2 hectares of grass pitch. It is not conceivable, nor is it feasible, that the whole of Harare cannot maintain 2 hectares of pitch to international FIFA standards. That is almost a dereliction of duty, if not sabotage. This will be done and this will be corrected. And we can only appeal to the Ministry of Sports to end its quarrel with FIFA so that people can play professional soccer. The lack of international teams visiting Harare is affecting tourism and is affecting the employment of many of our youths. We hope that sense will prevail. It is an argument to Norway to argue with FIFA. It is better to comply like everybody else has done, and even Qatar, with its strict traditional models, allowed women without scarves on their head to participate in the World Cup. That is how strong FIFA is. And I think that our Ministry of Sports must reevaluate its stance and allow opportunities for our young men and women so that they avoid drugs. Informal sector. The city acknowledges the role played by the informal sector. We are constructing 2 informal facilities, namely Seke Dep, Coca-Cola, which was started last year, and Hartcliffe Market. Seke Road is at 75% completion, with the market expected to be completed before the end of the year. Hartcliffe Market was supposed to be constructed through a public-private partnership with UN Women for the creation of a safe market. The project is at 20% completion, and council will do the remaining works, expecting to complete the market by early next year. Council is set to open Mpedzanamo Flea Market soon after refurbishment works are completed. We have realized that the informal sector is employing most of us ratepayers, and it requires our support. We are proposing that at least 20% of receipts from the informal sector is channeled towards a revolving fund to be managed by an independent board, including representatives of the informal sector. The City Informal Sector Fund will avail loans to the traders so that we promote growth of this sector. We will also provide, in addition to the loans, medical aid that will be utilized at our council facilities and our maternity facilities. And that will also create a database for the informal sector. Coupled with that, we will offer a funeral services plan once we set up the revolving fund for the informal sector. Health. One of our major worries as Harare is the outbreak of waterborne diseases or primitive diseases such as typhoid and cholera. There are 9 laboratory confirmed typhoid cases since the 17th of October 2022, and these are from the Glenora suburb only. We managed to prevent and contain major outbreaks of diseases like cholera, typhoid through community wash interventions like water quality monitoring, distribution of non-food items, NFIs, e.g. aquatabs, health education dissemination, capacitation of community health clubs, water point committees and volunteers, and contact tracing. We have scored huge success in the maternal health sector. We have managed to increase the number of beneficiaries on the results-based financing program, courtesy of Code Aid and the World Bank. The program is now being implemented in 21 clinics across the city from the original 5. In order to improve access to health services, the following are focus areas: institutionalization of RBF, completion of Chitubu Clinic, completion of Mavuku Admin Block, construction of Maubra Maternity Wing, expansion of Grindel FHS to a satellite clinic, creation of a health services fund, and setting up of an affordable health scheme. Edith Opperman Clinic is a very busy health center and caters for a huge population because of its location. The clinic records an average of 500 deliveries per month of babies. When I toured the facility, I made an undertaking to cause the expansion of Mbare Polyclinic. In that regard, management has been tasked to explore the appropriate funding models so that Carter House in Mbare and Pageant House in Mbare can be converted into a state-of-the-art enhanced polyclinic. Pageant House must also be transformed into an enhanced polyclinic so that we are able to offer modern health services to the citizens of Harare. Emergent services. The Emergent Service Division is one of the responsive and functional sections within the city of Harare. This section has recorded success, though in terms of the tools of the trade, they remain heavily undercapitalized. We continue to mourn the state of our emergency services equipment, which has deteriorated over the years. We are currently operating with 6 tenders out of an ideal total of 25 and 6 ambulances out of an ideal total of 32. This depicts the sorry state of our emergency services. We thank our various partners who continue to work with us in the emergency service provision. Special mention goes to Mr. Peter Lobo, who was shocked by the death of the late General Solomon Mujuru from a fire, and has continued to work with our fire brigade to buy equipment to make sure that such occurrences do not happen again. And Operation Florian UK for being an all-weather friend to the city's emergency services. We are also going to make efforts to recapitalize this critical section in our city. In the 2023 financial year, we are going to procure 10 ambulances, and the procurement of fire tenders is covered under the Capital Development Plan. City enforcement. Council's traffic enforcement mechanisms and strategies are meant to make Harare trafficable by improving compliance level. Our roads are a nightmare. Whenever we receive rains, the congestion becomes unbearable. Common courtesy is thrown out of the window. Everyone, male, female, they become as rude as possible. We have to find a way of retraining our drivers, educating our drivers to adopt common courtesy during the road. Everyone wants to cross a traffic section at the same time when it rains. To avert this, we will in 2023 install a traffic lights management system that is able to detect malfunctioning traffic lights so that we could quickly respond. Linked to this is the establishment of a reaction squad to deal with the problematic intersections so that our roads are more trafficable. Our traffic police will continue manning the intersection and assist in controlling traffic. We are worried, of course, about the heavy-handedness of our municipal and traffic police. We have instituted measures to ensure that they are humane as they implement various operations to restore order in the city. We will ask organizations that deal with policing and human rights to be able to train them on the basics of common courtesy and an ability to deal with the residents of Harare, who at the same time are their bosses as well as people who make sure that they earn a salary, even if we need to deal with behavior that might be errant, we need to do it in a humane manner and in a manner that complies with the Constitution. We continue to encourage people to approach Council for guidance on vending spaces and other spaces to operate from, and as a city, we continue to lobby for full arresting powers and establishment of municipal courts to fully institutionalize the operations of our enforcement wing. We will also try to see whether we can create an ombudsman for the city in addition to the municipal courts. We will be engaging with the Judicial Services Commission to deal with those issues. And in the year, we have had meetings with the Judicial Services Commission. They want to institute 3 courts in the Harare area, and we have committed to providing courts in Highfields, Machipisa, using our previous beer hall. We have committed to providing them with a court space in Tafara, and we will provide them with a court space in Mudiriro so that our people will not have to travel long distances, and we'll make sure that the agreements in that regard are done. We have also discovered that certain people are occupying some of the spaces that we've provided to the Judicial Services Commission with the cooperation of some of our staff members. We urge those to desist from such behavior and to stop all constructions that are happening illegally on the sites that we've earmarked for court processes and other services that are to do with service provision to the residents. Development control. The major thrust for development control was to stop the proliferation of illegal settlements and illegal developments in the city. Demolition of such structures is the last option after exhausting all the other avenues. Development in wetlands is not a good environmental practice, and as such, we urge residents to desist from this. Going forward, we will continue raising awareness of the procedures that must be followed when developing stands and other properties. We do not want to be a city that regularizes irregular developments. This is not a good practice in contemporary urban planning. We urge those that are building on wetlands to desist from building on wetlands. We need this, and we will enforce compliance. It is very sad to build something and then have it taken away after a few years because you ignored calls and you refused to heed the call that you should not deal with wetland. A city that promotes investment and business development. Over the next year, we will be stepping up our efforts on making Harare the investment destination of choice through deliberate policy interventions. We've already started by reviewing building plan approval fees. To date, the total value of approved plans stands at 4 billion Zimbabwe dollars. We hope to grow investment into the city and ensure that our strategic business perform well and contribute alternative revenue for service delivery. To this end, our business portfolio consists of a few entities: City Parking Private Limited, Harare Private Limited, Quarry, Rufaro Marketing Private Limited, Sunshine Development Private Limited, and Sunshine Bazaar. Some of these entities have managed to contribute revenue to Council for service delivery, while others are going through a restructuring exercise which should yield results in 2023. A total of 646 million was remitted from January-November 2022, and the funds were utilized to buy service delivery equipment and to fund roads program. The worst case was, I'll get to that. Sunshine Development Private Limited declared an interim dividend of 10,000 per month effective September 2022 for trading activities at Hope Literary Complex. A total of 20,000 was remitted for the months of September and October 2022, which is US dollars. Harare Quarry Private Limited is not performing to expectations, but has agreed to pay outstanding monthly contributions of 20% of production at no cost at a rate of 10,000 US dollars per month plus the month's contribution. The first payment was done in the month of December, and it is expected that the entity shall commit to its obligation. It should be noted that Harare Quarry Private Limited turnaround lies in the crusher and asphalt plants, which are now overdue for replacement. Strategies for replacement are in motion. We might need to quickly relook at this model because we need the quarry to supply the raw materials to repair the roads. And if this model does not work for a long period, we should be able to come with another model which might include a public-private partnership. Rufaro Marketing. Council in October 2023 resolved to remove Rufaro Marketing Private Limited to Business Committee, and the following has since been done. Appointment of a board was done in November 2023 and ratified on the 14th of December 2022. Terms of reference and mandate states that Rufaro Marketing shall retain only 20% for admin and 10% for repairs. The rest transferred to council by the 10th of following month, among others. We had a situation where Rufaro Marketing owns the brewery that is being operated by Delta. We own over 85 units of beer halls, and we were not getting revenue from this. We were getting 0 cents from these units. We have now rectified the problem. I had a meeting with Delta, which was a fruitful meeting. They've committed to renewing the lease with us, which we have committed to do so, and they are going to be investing over 15 million US dollars to build a new plant to make super at that refinery, which is owned by council, which will obviously increase revenue. We are going to refurbish the beer halls and others so that they can get revenue to the city. And we also urge anyone who is on those premises who is paying rentals to individuals that they are committing an offense and that they should make a beeline towards city council halls to be able to pay to a recognized institution. Sunshine Bazaar is wholly managed by council through valuation and estates. Performance remains below expectations, and we are relooking at the management model to ensure council realizes value from its assets. In 2023, council shall implement a commercialization strategy to sweat potential assets for exploitation and the business models appropriate given the lessons learned so far. We are the biggest real estate owner after government in Harare. We have multiple leases that are performing at 0 or at below standard, and some of them are not performing at all. We are going to automate and introduce a system where these revenues are paid to city council, and we are going to create a model where they are handled by in a commercial manner, and the revenue comes to the coffers of the city. Investment in the solar energy sector. The current energy crisis facing the nation and the huge electricity bill has brought to the fore the need for the city to scout for investors in the energy sector. We have farms that can be utilized as solar farms so that we can power our electricity-intensive water and wastewater operations to reduce our water bill. We expect to develop a solar farm that will generate over 100 megawatts. Management has therefore been tasked to look for investors so that this project can be implemented in 2023. And also many of our parks, many of our buildings, and many of our stadia provides opportunities to create smaller energy plants. We cannot complain about placing a roof on Rufaro, which roof will be solely for the purpose of preventing rain and the sun. It does not rain that much anyway in these parts of the world. We need to think renewable and utilize the roofs of our parkers, the roofs of our parking lots, and the roofs of many of the buildings that we have to create solar energy in a sustainable manner. I believe we can fix this city if we get our priorities right. We have recorded achievements in less than a year. We can do more given the right people, resources, stakeholder support, and above all, the right attitude. As I conclude, allow me to commend the residents of Harare for their patience and tolerance during times when service delivery was its lowest. Commendations also go to the executive, led by our acting town clerk, engineer PM Moyo, and the directors, managers, and the employees of the city. Serving people is sometimes a thankless job, but I appreciate your resilience even during difficult times. I express my profound gratitude to the councillors of the city of Harare for allowing me to lead. To my principal, the change champion in chief, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, I'm humbled to be given an opportunity to be the mayor of the capital city of Zimbabwe. The confidence and trust that you have bestowed on me is invaluable. In delivering this end-of-year message, we are also restating our commitment to building a city that we all clamor for. We invite you all to join us in ensuring that we provide a better life for all. We also want to thank government and the various offices of government that have cooperated with us in the various areas that we have needed support, from the provincial office, manned by Muguti, and before that, it had the Governor Chidao. We also want to thank the ministry. We also want to thank the President's office in the efforts that it has done to assist us. We do believe that they can do more to implement the provisions of the the Urban Councils Act and the constitutions. In 2008, governance issues, through the amendment of the local government laws, the post of executive mayors was abolished in Zimbabwe. The authorities had their own reasons, but the pressures and the demands call for a real look into this. The mayor of the city of Harare, after the president, is the second most powerful, measurable public service deployment. The budget for Harare can be compared to budgets of some African countries, but we continue to suffer interference with Chok's development. We need an executive mayor who is protected from Ministry of Local Government politics and interference for functionality and management of townhouse bureaucracy. The institution of the mayor is acknowledged in Section 277, subsection 2 of the Constitution, underscoring its importance in Zimbabwe. The Constitution allows the establishment of executive mayors, ceremonial mayors, or both. Currently, mayors are ceremonial and are elected by councillors from the members of a council. While the legislative regime suggests that mayors do not have executive powers, in practice, especially in big cities such as Harare and Bulawayo, they play a significant role and are quite influential. This is an important subject for debate with the authorities in 2023. We need a governance structure that works and delivers enhanced service delivery for the citizens. In addition to the above, our proposal is that Harare requires 2 deputy town clerks to assist in the administration of the city affairs. The city is growing, and as such, the town clerk requires adequate support in managing the day-to-day operations, that is planning, organizing, and managing the activities and operations of the assigned functions and services in the city. The position of Deputy Town Clerk is not new. We used to have them, and we believe it's a move in the right direction as we seek to improve operational efficiency. It is an anomaly that a city of over 2 million people is governed by what are called ceremonial mayors and ceremonial councillors. It is unworkable. It is not plausible for you to try and earn a living and manage a city that is a budget that is bigger than many other African countries, that is a population that is bigger than the population of Botswana and Namibia combined. It is a task impossible. It is a task designed to make it fail. And we need to be responsible as policymakers to be able to make the right decisions at the right time. In delivering this end-of-year message, we are restating our commitment to building a city that we all clamor for. We invite all of you to join us in ensuring that we provide a better life for all, a life of hope, prosperity, and above all, dignity. 2023 is an election year. We preach peace that surpasses all understanding. Allow me to take this opportunity to wish you all a prosperous 2023, a year of enhanced service delivery, and above all, we hope the spirit of peace will be with us in 2023, that we must understand that elections are not a life and death issue. It is just a period where one is chosen and others are not. And we expect to be peaceful about it, manage the city, continue to prosper without loss of life, loss of property, and loss of any other things that can be lost in the excitement of an election period. We will join all government officials and everyone down from the president and everywhere who has called for peace during the period that we are facing. Zimbabwe is a giant which needs its place among nations, and we can only do that if we maintain peace and dignity in many of the activities that we are required to do as a nation. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, for that profound end-of-year message. We have come to the end of the program. I'll allow the Chamber Secretary, Mr. Chiwawa, to give us a vote of thanks in just 45 seconds, and then Mercy will give us a closing prayer, and then we'll call it a day. Over to you, Chamber Secretary, Mr. W.C. Chiwawa. Thank you. Can you appreciate him as he comes forward?
I wasn't expecting that from my sister Dorothy, but all the same, good morning everyone. May I acknowledge the presence of His Worship the Mayor, all the councillors here present, heads of department, members of the media fraternity, members of workers' unions. I see Mr. Mlambashwina there. Residents' associations. Who are they? Panama residents. Okay. Oh, this is just a vote of thanks. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, His Worship the Mayor, for such a speech. It set the tone for us as officials, as management, as leadership, for us to be able to then deliver the services to the residents. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I also wish you a prosperous 2023. Thank you.
Tinamati. Kuna Mwari vakatendeka muzita renyu Baba neMwanakomana neMweya Mutsvene. Mwari Baba, tinokutendai nemusangano watava nawo. Tinokutendai nevatungamiri vedu. Munotaura mushoko renyu kuti tinofanira kuremekedza vatungamiri vedu. Thank you so much negore rino ratava navo. Tinokutendai nemabasa ese avabata. nekushandawo kwataita mukati meguta rino tinokutendai Mwari. Tava kupindawo mugore ra2023, asi kwasara mazuva Mwari atinongoramba tichingokumbirira upenyu. Tinoramba kutorerwa upenyu hwedu, kwasara mazuva mashomanana aya. Motibatanidza zvekare tiri tese mukati megore ra2023. Pataurwa zverugare ndorwatiri kukumbira Mwari kuti imi Mwari mozadza rugare mukati meguta rino, mukati megore iri. Maita henyu Jehovha, mofamba nesu, moramba minesu kubva zvino nokusingaperi. Amen.
Thank you very much. We have come to the end of our program. We'll allow His Worship the Mayor to